Well, this is All Things Employment on OneTalkNetwork.com. I am your host, Aaron Boyce.
And I am your co-host, Robin Rose-Haymer, and you are...
David Joyce.
And we have a guest.
We do have a guest, but where's Chanelle Shedler?
Well, I think she had a little too much birthday celebration and had to go walk it off. So she'll be back in just a minute.
Really, she's putting coins in the meter.
Oh.
We don't want to...
My explanation sounded a little better.
Sugar rush? Really?
Absolutely.
Really?
It's far more favorable than she had to go fill the meter.
Okay, fine. She has a sugar rush.
No,
okay.
I said she had too much celebration. You said she had a sugar rush.
So
now you just told on her.
So now we can go back 5 minutes as if this probably didn't happen again.
This sounds familiar.
Man. David, wait a minute. We have a guest.
We have a guest.
Well, why don't you tell us?
I don't know. I was remiss, I guess. Hi, Danielle.
Hello, how are you?
Good. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. We have witnesses to our folly.
That was it. Hi, Danielle.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Danielle. Will we be hearing more about you from you later?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Why don't we do a wrap-up of the first hour?
That's a great idea, Aaron.
And who will we get to do that?
I don't know. Maybe David.
Excellent. At the first hour, we did obviously our birthday celebration with Chanelle. We did my Wikipedia as a job seeker and my pros and cons that I offer the workplace. We also went over our quote from Matthew 7:7, and we had Jason Moulton here from the Money Store talking about his new business venture.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that was pretty...
Wow, that was extremely succinct. My goodness, that's probably the shortest wrap-up in all things.
Not rhetoric.
And he did say that.
Write that
he
down.
Is a man of his word.
Okay, I'll write it down. Results, not rhetoric.
Not rhetoric. That's going on the board, man.
I got to patent that, though. It's kind of like Johnny Football. I don't want somebody stealing it.
Wow. All things employment, results, not rhetoric. It's on the board. David, that was smooth. Yes, it was. So, now, who's back, mind you?
Hi.
David Joyce gave us his 7 questions. Could you perhaps pull out one thing that you heard that really you think shows the true essence of David? Something that he said.
Something that he said. Results, not rhetoric.
Okay. And that's what happens when... okay.
Almost. We almost had it. That was sort of what we call in the biz as a swing and a miss.
Okay, so now, really, without that, when David did his 7 questions, is there anything that you could pull out that you said, wow, that was pretty cool about the essence of David?
Well, what I really enjoyed was hearing him say that he had a different perspective, and with his experience in multiple fields, that gave him a different perspective, whereas someone who just started in the work business would maybe not see things in his the same way he sees it.
Fantastic. Now that was a swing and a hit every time.
Over the fence.
All right, so we really want to give our next guest her due. So let's do that. Can you give her the introduction?
Oh, that was the most formal music I could think of. I'm sorry. It was graduate. It was bad.
Okay.
So can we act like the last 30 seconds didn't just happen?
It happened.
Thanks for that, Aaron. The last 2 times today, you asked for a do-over. We went for it.
But I was driving the bus.
Over me, apparently. Beep, beep.
All right, and so our guest is the lovely who?
Danielle Marshall, president of the Natomas Chamber of Commerce and entrepreneur.
And that right there excites me. President of the Natomas Chamber of Commerce. I knew that Sacramento has had its share of chambers of commerces. Some are no longer with us. Did you know that there was a Native American Chamber of Commerce? There was a River City Chamber of Commerce. There was a Filipino American Chamber of Commerce. So yeah, since the Sacramento has been very, very prolific in keeping business alive. So
We like business.
we do. And so you are the president of the Natomas. So can you share with us a little bit about that, please?
I am. So I have had the opportunity, actually this is my third year in the presidency of the Natomas Chamber of Commerce, to serve our great community of Natomas in the greater Sacramento area. We do a lot of different things in our chamber. We help advocate for small businesses, large businesses. We just added a component with scholarships just a couple of years ago to give back to the business community of the future, and we just do a lot of outreach.
And how many members?
How many members? I would say small and large businesses over 170.
Nice. And of course, I know the answer to this, but somebody might not. Do you have to live or do business in Natomas to be a member?
To be a member, no, you do not have to do business in Natomas. However, we would prefer that you did do business in Natomas, even if your office is located somewhere else.
Fantastic. So now about Danielle Marshall.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about
What's your business?
What's my
okay.
business?
Tell us all your business.
All of it. We'll be here for a while. So my business is wardrobe and fashion consulting, and I also do small business consulting. So I teach people really how to fix problems. Throughout my Air Force career, I was a clinical lab scientist, so my job was to find how cells worked and what I needed to do to discover certain types of bacteria, fungus, and things like that. And so I've taken that into my career now. So just to follow the small details, to find out why things aren't working the way that they're supposed to, how things work the way they're supposed to, and then taking that a step further to find out how things can work better.
I'm just saying that was a word I did not think would be mentioned on this show, at least not today.
No, of all days, of any possible day that word could be mentioned, it would be today. I mean, after all, we did start the show off with Chanelle talking about her spit.
I think it's because the Army guy left.
Is that what?
The Army guy left, and I think the Air Force, smarter rather than harder.
Okay.
Wow.
This is not getting any
It is
better.
not. We are headed down the rabbit hole fast, like lock, stock, and
Air
barrel.
Force
Well,
is the hardest entrance exam of any of the services.
I think David is feeling himself right now. I think because he's got Danielle to back
Do
him
you
up.
want me to sing the Air Force song?
Is he-
No.
I do not want you to sing.
Numbers.
But I do want. But I would like to know what I'm hearing you say is that appearance matters in business and in employment. Appearance matters. So tell me this: you got two people trying to get the same contract. It could be a job, but we'll call it a contract, okay? And they have similar qualities. After dealing with the similar qualities, talk about how appearance can seal the deal.
Perfect. That is a great question. So appearance is going to help you seal the deal a couple of ways. Number one, people will generally make up their mind about you and how they feel you are and who they think you are within the first 15 seconds. This is long before an interview ever occurs. This idea of who you become is actually started at the door. So it may be started by, administrative assistant or secretary, who then will tell somebody in the back, oh, well, this person's here. And a lot of times, unfortunately, this person is going to relay that message of how you presented yourself in the beginning. So they will want to know, do you present a professional image? Do your clothes fit? Have you brushed your hair? Have you, and men especially, are your shoes clean? That is definitely something that people look at on a regular basis. They want to know that they can entrust you with their brand. So if it's a job interview and or a contract, if I'm going to trust you with $1 million contract or to represent my company, I need to know that you will present my company well. And if you don't present yourself well, then I don't believe that you'll do that for my company.
Now that's interesting, because when I look to do business with somebody, especially if they tell me that they understand money, I look at their shoes, I look at their shirt to see, does it fit? Is it pressed? Is it starched? I look at the tie to see how well tied it is. I'll look at the clothes to see, well, like I said, does it fit? If how they look doesn't match what they say, to me, they lost that deal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it also goes back to David and I we joked earlier about both being in the Air Force. That's not a joke, but we had some jokes there. just attention to detail and dress and appearance was something that was drilled into us. So if you had a string hanging off a button, if your boots weren't shined, if your uniforms weren't pressed, if your hair was out of place, you were going to be called out for that. So I think that is a unique skill set that we've learned in the military, to be even more cognizant of people's dress and appearance.
So can you share with us some... I got stuck there.
That's okay.
But we'll edit that out. Okay. Some do's and don'ts on fashion and how to dress for success. And this is going to be very interesting for those who need it. Please.
Absolutely. So the first thing that I will say is to be yourself. Don't try to be a copy of someone else. So if I see that Chanelle is wearing this really, really cute dress and it looks great on her, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look great on me. And it doesn't mean that it fits my personality. If you are dressed like someone who you're not, you're very uncomfortable, and that comes across when you meet people. I think it's very important not to go too over the top with your dress, making sure things are somewhat conservative. But to take that a step further, know that organization or those people who you're planning to interview or meet that day, because the last thing you would want to do is to wear a competitor's colors into a job interview, or if it's, you know, a very conservative marketplace, you would not want to wear something that is extremely trendy or, you know, a little too young in some cases. So I think it's important to do your research ahead of time and take pride in the way that you're presenting yourself. Presentation is everything. Again, the way that you present yourself, those people who are going to award you that contract or those people who are going to give you a job, they want to know that you can represent and present their company in the best light possible. So if you can't do it for yourself, you won't be able to do it for them in their eyes.
Wow, so true. And now, you got a question?
Well, while she's thinking of that question, I did want to do a follow-up to what Danielle was saying. You were talking about the importance of knowing the organizational culture. So that actually is alluding to something that I frequently tell students, which is, how important is it to do some research before you walk in the door?
It is paramount to do research before you walk in the door. It would be like meeting someone who's going to take care of your child and you know nothing about them, but you're willing to drop your child off with this person. So if I don't know this person, I can't trust you with my child, in essence. So if I'm going into this organization not knowing what it is that, number one, that I can provide for them, I think it's very important to look from a stance of providing something for someone versus asking what someone can do for you. But if I don't know what I can provide for you, I don't know how I fit in your organization. And then to take that a step further, how do I then explain to this person who's interviewing me how I can fit in that organization if I don't know myself?
Excellent. Ask not what you can do, what the company can do for you, but what you can do for the company. That was a very terrible paraphrase of John F. Kennedy.
It was. Is there
Thanks, Aaron.
I'm agreeing with you. Is this such a thing as being too pretty or too put together?
There's me.
No, there's Robert.
No, but I don't think you're too pretty.
Hey,
Gorgeous.
whoa.
You're gorgeous.
I will pay you later.
Please don't.
I think that goes back to what it is that you're presenting. So how it is that you're presenting yourself. I wouldn't recommend that you go into, let's say, a job at, let's say, Walmart, Best Buy, something like that. So you would make sure that you knew what that culture was like prior to going into that interview. So you would want to dress above what that culture is, but not so much so that you have sold yourself short before you even get there.
Well, I'm going to put out some names, and maybe not all my audience will know who I'm talking about, but Genuine, Shamar Moore, you know, people like that, right?
Keep on talking.
Yeah.
We're listening.
Sure.
Come on with it.
They have been called by young men and women as being too pretty, and these are guys.
Right.
These are guys.
Right.
Now, if I'm a guy and I have a certain look, and I'm not talking about being homosexual, none of that. I'm just saying I have a certain look,
Right.
and I got, you know, I'm really put together. Will that be taken seriously by someone who's looking for the ideal candidate? Or will they say, so that person maybe takes too much time looking in the mirror, perhaps?
That's a great question. So one thing that you could do is to arrive to a job interview or a contract review at least 15 minutes before they even want to see you. This is going to tell them, A, not only did you take the time to make sure that you presented yourself well, but B, you took the time to make sure that they knew that you were going to be on time, if not early, for them. I think presentation, when you mentioned the stars, they all have a very distinct style, right? Mm-hmm. So I would not recommend going into a job interview with any of those styles, because that's Hollywood. Hollywood, that's TV. That's not real life. So a professional image, a professional presentation is going to be something that's more important than just being pretty or, good looking. Let's just say. There is so much more. Confidence is something that's going to help you to get ahead as well. So you may not have the best clothes in the world, and I honestly don't recommend spending too much money on clothes. I teach people how to dress for their body type, their style, and their budgets. So that confidence and just being comfortable in the skin that you're in and what it is that you're wearing is going to set you apart as well.
No, she answered the question pretty much.
Okay.
I have something I wanted to follow up on that me and Aaron had talked about a couple months ago. I myself wasn't doing this, say, 2 years ago, but every time I look at a company, whether I'm applying there or if I'm just interested in them, like a great example for me is Tesla. Like I looked at Tesla and I said, I'm going to send them my resume and whatnot and everything, but every company I look at their mission statement.
Absolutely.
And that's your bread and butter, that you know what they're trying to do, but also you get a feel for that company. Yes. So it's one of those things where, whenever I do like a cover page or anything, I always make sure to include that mission statement in there so they know that I've researched them.
Absolutely.
And I think that, a lot of people just don't ever even think to look that up, though.
No, that's a great point. And that's part of doing your research. Again, you want to know that you fit into that mission, and you want to show them how you fit into that mission.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And we're talking to Danielle Marshall, and we're all things employment on One Talk Network. And we are really excited to have you here. I personally, because I have to be honest, this is truth time.
Okay.
Right after Aaron called me and asked me to do the show, I called you and said, can you be a guest? So it's honesty time. Danielle was the very, very first person that I invited to be on the show after you invited me to be on the show.
Why do you think I called you? Because I knew you had the bestest of guests.
The bestest guests. I'm so happy that Danielle is here with us. And Danielle, if someone was trying to get in touch with you, when someone is trying to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
They can email me at styletoprofession@gmail.com, or they can give me a call at area code 916-613-1475.
And for the slow finger, that number again.
916-613-1475.
Fantastic.
Now you said style to profession. Is that the number or the word?
Styled to profession, the word.
Okay.
T-O.
Okay, so that's styled.
Styled
Okay.
to profession.
Okay.
STYLEDTOPERFECTION because Mama won the spelling bee.
There you go.
Okay, so you're listening to us on All Things Employment, and if you want to watch the madness that's happening in here, and actually this week I highly recommend it. Get some popcorn, sit back, because man, if you think listening to us was funny, if you could watch, you can watch what's going on in here on YouTube. It really is worth the price of admission.
You will see Robin twirling a spool of blue tape around for no discernible reason.
And that's actually happening. That's not even made up.
That's really happening.
I really was just doing that. So. Okay, moving on. If you have any questions about the frivolity and or seriousness of what we've got going on, you can reach us at allthingsemployment@gmail.com. And if you have any questions that are just burning deep down in the pit of your soul and you really want an immediate answer, you can call us at 916-629-4229. And all of the contact information you've heard today for both Jason Moulton and Danielle Marshall will be on our Facebook page at All Things Employment.
I do have one last question for her now. Understand, she doesn't know this, but she is coming back because we have to do a job fashion show.
Absolutely.
Who better to do the job fashion show than Danielle Marshall?
Absolutely.
I won't ask her yet because
We'll just keep that between you and I.
Exactly.
We won't tell Danielle that we're going to ask her.
But the question that I have for her, and in 30 seconds or less, is what is your vision of an ideal candidate for any position that you might be hiring for?
The ideal candidate for me would be someone who is outgoing, someone who is a leader but okay with being a follower, because that is a key in leadership, that so many people want to be in charge but not anyone really wants to be able to follow those who are in charge. I need someone who thinks outside of the box, absolutely. So much our society will put us in a box, and this is kind of who we are, and I think that it's important as an entrepreneur that you understand that there's so much more out there for you, and there's so much more that you can be led to be. So someone who thinks outside the box is going to be completely and very important. And then someone who is professional. So I'm not asking for someone to have a PhD, but at least be able to convey your message in a way that is professional and respectful at all times.
Superb. Fantastic. Thank you, Miss Danielle Marshall. All right, so now comes the featured book.
Right, the moment that Chanelle has been waiting for.
I know, I actually have been waiting a long time, but Aaron, I'm surprised you didn't skip me like you skipped the quote.
Okay,
And the bus is back.
and I just gave you good music. Did you not hear that music that I gave you?
Yeah, we heard
that
it.
music.
When was the good music?
I know.
It was the music intro.
That was not.
Halloween's next.
That was not good music.
No, something.
Yeah, well-
it was music. So
Well, at least I enjoy your presence. How about that?
that is fantastic. So let's see if we can enjoy your book. And what do you have for us today?
All right, so I have Successful Women Think Differently by Valerie Burton. And
By Valerie Burton? What? No, she didn't say that.
You know what?
What did she say? I'm sorry.
She said by Valerie Burton.
Burton. Okay, I'm
okay, would
sorry.
you like to see? All right, there it is.
Why don't you show that again for the camera?
All right.
Successful women think differently.
Okay.
Yay,
Tell us more.
I lost my page. All right, so
I'm telling you, it doesn't get better.
It doesn't get better than this, ladies
All
and
right.
gentlemen.
Okay, so tell
I'll
us
get it
more.
together, guys. Okay, so so what I like about this book is telling you how different. Well, it says women a lot in the book. I mean, obviously because of the title. But I believe that this book is great for men and women. Just men, if you decide to read it, just take out the W-O. Okay? So there is a chart if someone decides to purchase the book, and it's on page 10.
We'll put the chart online.
Okay. And so one side says successful women, the other side says unsuccessful women. So one of my favorite ones is courage, successful women face, wait a minute, let me start over.
Okay.
Successful women have courage in the face of fear, but unsuccessful women feel sorry for themselves when things don't go as planned and just wait for nothing to happen, and they'll continue waiting. And then another one that I like is a habit of saying no. Well, successful women say a habit of saying no to good opportunities in favor of purposeful ones, whereas unsuccessful women focus on what they don't have rather than what they do have. So now I really like that because I'm kind of young, so
Aren't we all?
All right, so I've seen people that are my age, and I look at them and I see them with all this support, and I'm like, okay, they have it, they can do this, they can do that, they can go here, they can go there, and then they just do nothing. They're like, oh my gosh, my foot hurts, or oh my goodness, I can't do this because the wind is blowing too hard today, and just I mean, some of this.
No, it's
You
true.
guys have
I only laugh in support because, trust me, I've met a few young people.
Oh my god.
who are even younger than you,
Oh.
and they do have the tendency to squander opportunity
Right.
and make excuses.
Right.
She broke up with me over Facebook is my favorite.
Oh.
Okay.
I've heard people going to shutdown over Facebook.
Wow.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I know.
Not enough.
So something totally off the drill, I guess. But we talk about successful women, and I really like those glasses. I love the glasses.
They're quite stylish.
It makes you
Oh,
look
thank you.
so successful.
Oh, thank you.
Do they also help you to see?
Well, when I'm reading, I mean, I can see without them.
Okay, but as long as they also assist you in seeing, then they're also useful. They're successful and useful.
Well,
I
if they weren't
think she should
useful,
keep
then I
them on the
wouldn't
entire show,
So can I?
whether she's reading or not.
Quick tip.
I'll pass.
People think that you are older, and even if they don't think that you're older when you have glasses, they give a more professional appearance. So young people, if you do have glasses, don't be afraid to wear them.
I'm not afraid to wear my glasses.
That wasn't
Just
personal.
No, that was a compliment.
It was a tip. That's
And
all.
it's from a style professional. It's an opportunity to find a pen. I want to say that I had not heard of this book before you suggested it, but I am really grateful that you did, because I took some time and did some reading, and I like what Valerie Burton had to say about success, because she says that success is the harmony of purpose, resilience, and joy. And she goes into some very specific things about what purpose is and what resilience is and joy, but we each attribute one of those things to different aspects of our lives. And I think that what you said, Chanelle, about the book being for males and females alike is true, because really, if my purpose matches my ability to be resilient and also where my happiness is, then I'm successful.
Right.
And whether or not, and I think she gives this example, whether or not that means I have a big bank account, or whether or not I'm in a size 6, or whether or not that means I have lots of time to spend with my family, whatever that makes me happy, that's my success. And so we need to remember that success is defined individually by different people. And Danielle, you're shaking your head over there, so
Yes.
you want to chime in here?
No, yes. I'm like, let me just listen. No, yes, success is something that has to be defined by the individual. I think oftentimes that's why people do not succeed, is because they're trying to compete with the definition of success that was set by someone else. So if Robin's success is A, B, and C, I think if I've achieved A, B, and C, I should be happy and I'm successful. But that was what Robin wanted. That wasn't necessarily what I wanted. I may have needed to, chart a different path from there.
And so I'm not done reading the book, but in the book she calls them habits. And my favorite habit, I'm only on habit 2 because I kind of have a busy schedule, but man, it's great to stop it, Robin. All right.
So habit 1 is what?
All right. Habit 1 is how you explain your success and failure predicts more about your potential than you think.
And habit 2 is?
You want me to go through all 9?
No.
All right. Habit 2.
Because you only got to 2. So.
Oh man, but I'll finish.
Okay.
Anyways, why we are poor Wait a minute, hold on.
Okay.
Why we are poor predictors of our own happiness and how you can get it right.
She has Kindle. It's
Whatever.
Okay.
Robin has been booted for temporarily.
Habit
Habit 3
is don't make excuses for not finishing the book.
No, it's actually stop trying to fix your weaknesses.
Oh, it's what?
It is. Habit 3, stop trying to fix your weaknesses. Why you should stop obsessing about what's wrong with you and start building on what's right.
Okay, I like that one. I like it.
Absolutely.
There's something I want to tie into here that happened to me about a month ago. I have a friend of mine who's 27, and he went through the same thing where he said, I don't think people are taking you seriously because of my age. And I said, I got a simple answer for you. When you go into an interview or you sit down with somebody and they say, your age, you're young, I'm not taking you seriously, ask them what the last book they bought was. And I said, and then ask them, do you know the age of the author? I said, if I was an author and I just wrote this book and you didn't know my age, would you have bought the book? And he used that. He said, David, you know what's so weird is that it flips it back on them, and the age becomes irrelevant at that point. You know, I said it's not. Words are powerful. It's all about how you frame it to that person to get them to think about what they're doing mentally to you. So I use the book example all the time for younger people. I said, ask them if you were an author and you just had pseudonym. What if they've just bought your book? And he said, David's like, I've been using it, and he's like, it totally flips the conversation around. So I thought that was cool that you talked about the book and the age thing at the same time.
And I like that a lot. I think to ask Danielle, do you have a pair of glasses too?
Do I have a fear of glasses?
Do you have a pair of
His East Coast is showing you.
I can hear that. No, I do not.
See, because those glasses are just so wonderful. I was just thinking.
They are.
Yeah. Okay.
So because I don't need them, I've tried them because the glasses look is able.
Yes.
But I have a tendency to focus on whatever's in front of my face. So to have glasses and to be looking at the middle of the glasses probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Well, trust me.
Hey, I like those. Those are nice.
She got, there it is. You see?
Let me see you straight. Oh, that's my pose.
So,
love the peepers.
Robin.
They're cute though. I like those.
Wow. All of a sudden, I take you so much more seriously.
All because I put on my glasses.
All because you put on big glasses.
And in my defense, I don't wear them when we're in close spaces because I only need them to see things far away.
Okay.
So I could see you just fine without my glasses.
Maybe you need to give her that life-affirming message again that she missed the first time.
What? Oh, wearing your glasses.
Exactly.
You will look more educated. You'll look more respectful, professional.
Well, I would like you to reflect on when the last time you saw these glasses was, Aaron. When was the last time you saw them?
I would, but we are so out of time.
Oh, okay.
So out of time.
Robin, I take you seriously. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And we have to.
We are super out of time.
So we're super out of time.
All things employment. We are on OneTalkNetwork.com. We've been talking with Danielle Marshall, and we've just done a beautiful book wrap-up regarding Successful Women Think Differently. In the next half hour, we've got coming up Who's Hiring. We're going to get the answer to our Think About It. I know we've all been thinking about how we're not going to be obsolete. We're also going to have a tutorial, and we're going to do our top 5. We'll do a little bit of a wrap-up, and we're going to talk about what's coming next week. We've got a lot to talk about in 26 minutes.
So no more jokes.
No more jokes.
Okay, we'll see you in 5. Okay.